Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we're reviewing episode 18 of March Comes the Lion. By the way, excuse me if you haven't noticed, I'm very sick. So yeah, really, I shouldn't even be doing this review, but I love this show, so I can't not do it. And I want to talk about this episode because this episode was really well done, and just in general, I think that the symbolism behind every episode so far this season for the show is just impactful and so emotionally driven. It's such a great show, to be honest. So I'll just talk briefly about this episode. I'm not gonna really care too much about where images are and stuff like that. I'll just be talking about stuff that happened. The images will show up on the screen, of course, but they might not be timed very well because again, I just want to go render this out and then kind of put it up there for you guys to know my thoughts of the episode, or at least try to see my thoughts of the episode. So the beginning was interesting when we just had the whole group in Shibata's workshop, kind of arguing, and it was kind of funny to see a Star Wars reference, and it looked like maybe a JoJo reference possibly. I thought that was hilarious. Um, but Shimada actually ends up finding Ray at one point, and it's really interesting. This is later on, by the way, where Ray for the first time realizes this is what it's like to verse someone that's very high up on the rankings. Because for the most part, he's versed very high people, but he's never versed, I think, anyone that's technically A listed status compared to him. Because he's still he's still a novice. It's in terms of other people are still higher at the totem pole than he is, of course. But it was interesting because he said it was like the tide. He couldn't stop it, even though he was trying to fight it against them. He was having a lot of problems doing that, and I love that sequence of events. I love the symbolism behind that. Now the second part starts off, and we find out Ray just barely passed school, so that's a good thing. He doesn't have to repeat anything, and I think he was scared about that himself. But what's interesting is that his teacher, he really feels a lot of love towards him because of the fact that he really helped him out and took care of him, even though he kind of is a weirdo in his own right. He did take care of him and really helped him pass, so this way he's able to move on and advance. What was interesting though is that Shibata also told us something before where he's at his wits end because he's already lost two in a row and he can't lose too many more. He can only lose I think two more games. If he loses another one, it's a big deal. It's like do or die according to him. So maybe maybe it's best out of four or something like that. But I know that for the most part, he really lost that game. He's gonna this episode he's gonna lose obviously, and I kind of feel bad, but I think that I kind of expected that to be honest. I think because like any other player of a game, there's the focus where you start focusing so hard on the game and you start saying stuff that kind of almost jinxes you in ways. Like he talks about how he really wanted to win the third. Really wanted to win the third game at least because then he would go to his hometown, and Ray was trying to figure out what that meant exactly. But I'll talk to you a little bit more about that because I think that it's a little bit more than what it should be. I thought originally it was something like, oh, he goes to his hometown, but I don't think it's that simple. As you see, by the way, on screen or probably already passed, is that Hina and Momo appeared at Ray's house and, went to go get the lunch boxes back, but more so they wanted to talk to him about the whole fact of who that girl was. And that's where Ray goes, oh, that was my older sister and stuff like that. And Momo, actually not Momo, well, Momo was afraid too, but Hina was more afraid because apparently that's their fight, they were fighting, of course, and that looked really messed up. But Ray tried to convince her that hey, that's okay. We're siblings. She's my older sister. It's normal for us to fight. But when they go home and tell Akari or Akane, I think it's her name, it's Akane. Why did I say Akari? When they tell Akane what happened, you know, she realizes right away that the sister and brother, these two don't act like it, and they don't seem like it. They don't have that love for one another as a brother and sister do. And that's something that I think that we learned last week's episode where we saw Ray talking about how he just kind of has to put up with that because he knows for a fact that that's just how it's going to be. Unfortunately, um, it's like I said before in last week's episode that it's going to be, he realizes it over and over again in the course of the series probably that they're just going to always be like water and oil together. I think in many ways where they're not going to have that sibling love and stuff like that. But you know what? Unfortunately, like I said before, Shimada loses the game, and what's interesting is this is where I'm thinking hometown really is kind of the main thing of what he tried to say is that I think hometown was a song that was played because apparently he heard a song after the whole thing was over, and the song was called Hometown. And I'm like thinking, what is that? Was it that he actually is going to go to his hometown? Because he did describe his hometown. He said it was a place full of snow, but why is the song called Hometown also? Why was that? Like, that's symbolism. I didn't get that. I would love to see if you guys in the comments below could tell me what was the concept behind it because it escaped me, to be honest. But I feel like maybe that was the true hope that he was looking for, maybe possibly. I'm not 100% sure, but like I said, I'm kind of sick, so maybe my mind isn't working at 100%. But, anyways, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this review. I love this episode. I think it was great symbolism. I love the fact that we're getting seeing more. We're seeing Ray open up a lot more. You know, he cried in front of his teacher. He also, was talking to a lot of people. He was also talking to the workshop class for the first time, and because he's really kind of the quiet type, but he was actually engaging in his own thoughts about the game that they had prior to the main game they're having right now. So that was kind of interesting. Um, I still have issues with one thing about the show. Probably is the only issue I ever have with the show is the weird moments they do with like the weird cartoons. I don't know why they do that. I don't really particularly care for that, but that's just me. That's the only thing I have issues with this whole thing. Anything in the show, guys, that's like an only issue. Other than that, though, like I said, another week of great episode. I can't wait till next week. Anyways, guys and girls, I again apologize that I sound so horrible, but it happens, and I just don't want to skip a day and not give you guys a review. So, thanks for putting up with it. As always, if you like these reviews, check out when I'm actually healthy. That'd be cool. That you could decide to subscribe to the channel or not. Share the video, like the video. Hold on. I will talk to you guys later. Have a blessed day. I'm gonna go pass out. Bye bye.